Go.
Go ahead, take it.
Sam said you were a little hot at halftime. Could you give us the
PG version.
what we can run? Yeah.
Well, in essence, I just said, there's nothing I can draw up on the board. There's nothing we can really talk about until we play better basketball. And, you know, for whatever reason, you know, just at the start of the game, down 7-0, you know, we didn't have what we needed. We weren't attacking the way we needed to attack. You know, we break the press and stand for 25 seconds. You know, we didn't read situations well. And the bottom line, I said, you have to play better. There's the bottom line is play better.
What was, I realize you were getting most of your points out of transition. What was it that kind of ignited Sam? You had the 17-0 run, he only had like 2 points in it, but then he scored like 10 in a row just by himself.
Well, you know, it's funny because, as I told our guys, I said, look, we got 0 steals at halftime. We ended up with 7. You know, our activity defensively wasn't there. You know, and I told him, I said, look, when we're at our best offensively, we have a certain pace about us, and that leads us into shooting with more leg drive. That leads us into finishing stronger. You know, we didn't finish in the first half, and you know, the 2 big guys picked up 2 fouls, and they're still playing, and they're just going straight up, and we're running into them, and you know, things like that. And you know, Sam, we got out in transition. They lost him a couple times, and he's pretty good at finding the seams there.
Thad, when you have a first half like this and then a second half like this, like, what's your takeaway? What does this tell you about your team at this point of the season?
Well, I think they've got heart, because I told them, I said, you know, after the game, I said, you cash the chip in, because this team has not done that this season. And, you know, for whatever reason, we just didn't have what we needed. And I'm not taking anything away from Minnesota. I thought they played very, very good basketball there in the first half. But we didn't attempt to impose our will on them. But I like the fact that they came back and fought and clawed and you know, put the run together. Shows me these guys got a lot of heart, which is good.
Coach, you had 4 media timeouts in the first half. There were a couple other timeouts. I'm sure you were making the same points in those timeouts that you did at halftime. What is it that got through to them, do you think?
Maybe the fact that someone said this is embarrassing the way we're playing. You know, we've got to. Honestly, I said we got to play better. I don't know if there's one thing I said. You know, it was more of just the attack. You know, let's go at them. Okay, you break the press, keep going. And I thought we did a much better job of that. I know, you know, Mir got a dunk. We threw ahead to Q. We fed him. You know, those were the type of plays that we needed to be making the entire game.
At the start of the second half, to get that run going, Lenzel, I think, had an offensive rebound basket and then had a hard drive. And after that, I think LeQuinton had a block shot and 2 assists in transition. I don't know if you thought, did any of those plays kind of ignite?
Yeah, because they were attacking plays, and that's what we didn't have in the first half, just that, you know, extra effort type plays, finishing through the contact. You know, I thought, you know, Q got that one blocked, and somehow miraculously came up with the ball for an and one. Those were the things that we weren't doing at the level we needed to do in the first half.
Dad, is it too simple to say that the second half, what you did offensively, defensively, that's the way your team is presently constructed to operate?
Yeah, I think so, and you know, I will say this, the way Minnesota plays, it probably lends its hand more to playing that way with the pressure, with you know, the press, those types of things. But yeah, I mean, that's how we want to play. That's how we would love to play, especially the defense, because our defense generated offense for us, and that's kind of, I think, who we are.
Thad, last year at this point, or around this point, Sam got hot. That was big for you guys. His big game against Northwestern might have gotten lost in the media attention of something else that happened in the Northwestern game, but does it kind of seem like he's on the verge now of maybe finding himself?
I hope that he is. I think that you know, Sam is one of those guys in his 3 years here. has worn a lot of different hats for this program. You know, from his freshman year to sophomore year to where he is now, and I think that's the one thing that we always want for guys as they continue through with their career, continuing to add things. The fact that he scored the ball at a pretty high level last few games, you know, I hope he can continue that, because that position definitely opens up a lot of things for us.
And you always talk about upward trajectory towards the end of the year. And Doug just asked about first and second half and the difference that you guys had today. But at this point in the year, heading into March, can you just kind of wipe away a first half like that, or is that something that's going to continue to be something that you review and look at? I mean, what do you take away from that half of the game?
Well, I think you got to look at why we did that, and it was funny. We had at shoot around today, we started with some stuff and we weren't very sharp, and I had to raise my voice and kind of get their attention. And I thought, okay, we have. But I told them at the end of the show, I said, look, we've got an odd way about us, and I don't like it. Hopefully, we're very, very focused, and obviously we weren't.
Bob?
Yeah, you mentioned the word attack several times, and I wondered, you had to be prepared for their zone after the way they played up there, but do you think that stalled you at all in the first half, just the fact that you had to play half-court basketball the whole first half, and did their zone kind of, for whatever reason?
No, it did, and we stalled ourselves, because what we were trying to do, you know, I was telling guys in timeouts, like, look, you're just doing whatever you want to do out there. You know, we weren't contact on screens. We were supposed to be somewhere for no more than 2 seconds, and we were there for 20 seconds. You know, it was like, do what we do. We've got to move. We knew where we wanted to attack things, and we did not do that in the first half.
I think it was Hugh, it might have been Sam, but they talked about a desperation. Is that something you've talked about? Are you glad that's kind of a message that's getting through at this point in the season? You have to act like, you know, you're down to the last.
Yeah, I think like
play desperate.
Yeah, no question, and I think, you know, just from the standpoint of quite honestly, every game's like the biggest game of your life in this league, and you know, obviously the way we played the first half, if you're not ready to compete, if you're not ready to fight, if you're not ready to execute, you can get embarrassed. And you know, I think that those guys, I don't know how many games we have left in the season, three, but you know, it's going to be the exact same thing when we play Penn State on Wednesday, and you know, it's just we got to get ourselves ready to go.
Thad, I'm just curious if you have an explanation for 83% free throw shooting in this little two-game homestand, 15-17 tonight. I think it was like 23-29 the other night.
Yeah, 23.
Just concentration on his teams flitted in and out all year, but in that category, suddenly you guys look pretty good.
Don't ask, every time you guys ask me about it, then we don't make them the next game. No, I don't know. I mean, hopefully guys they found their routine, they're more comfortable, and you know, the good thing is they're making them in the timely fashion that we need them. You know, just knock on wood, I hope like heck we can continue shooting like that.
Dad, did I hear you right that earlier you said in a timeout, one of your players said that this was embarrassing?
I said that. I said that at halftime, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just said that this is embarrassing how we're playing right now with no toughness or attack mode to us.
Your guys have seemed on an upward trajectory lately. Do you think that without that as their background that they would have had the confidence to put a second half together like they did tonight?
You know, like I said, this team, we've lost 6 times, and we've led in all 6 games in the second half. You know, they've had a pretty good fight about them. We haven't been able to, in those games, make the plays we needed to make. That's what excited me about the second half, is we were in desperation, and guys stepped up and connected defensively and made the plays and got steals from the help positions and those types of things. You know, the block shots we had were out of help, and you know, I think Amir ended up with 4 block shots, and you know, those were big time plays for us.
Anything else? Okay, thanks, Dad.